Liverpool Plains Shire Council is being live streamed to Council's website. A webcast of this meeting will be published to Council's website at liverpoolplains.newsouthwales.gov.au so that it is available for viewing by members of the public. Acknowledgement of country and council prayer, Councillor Jason Allen.
Kulanina, Nayaga Nayu Kamilarai, Nama Biralavi Yalangawu Nare Yalagari, Nama Baragawu Nale Tuan Garaga Yalahadu, Naya Gileay Nade Naye Naye, Wana Kanu Yane Mal Dal Walaba, Karahabu Duan Gagi Karahabu Yarada, Yabaninda. Morning, afternoon. I'd like to acknowledge my Kamilaroi elders, children, the past, the present, the traditional owners on the land we are on today. Let us all work together as one in this country. I welcome you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Lord, we ask that you watch over this council, guide us in deliberation and decision for the betterment of all people of the Shire and Australia.
Next, Councillor Allen. Apologies and applications for leave of absence by councillors. Terry Cohen has submitted a leave of absence. Is there any councillor wishing to submit an apology or application for leave of absence? I'll move that Terry's apology be accepted. Moved Councillor Wynne, seconded Councillor Miles. Confirmation of minutes. Minutes of the council meeting held on the 24th of November 2021. Recommendation reads that Council 1 receive and confirm the minutes of the council meeting held on the 24th of November 2021, appended at Annexure A. Do I have a mover? Move Councillor Miles. Seconder, Councillor Cudmore. Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Miles? Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to say that I have submitted a couple of questions in regards to the content of minutes, what should and should not be in the minutes, and I'm quite happy with the minutes that have been presented to us, and I'm just awaiting some responses to my questions. But thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Miles. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 3.2, minutes of the extraordinary council meeting held on the 5th of January 2022. Recommendation reads that Council 1 receive and confirm the minutes of the extraordinary council meeting held on the 5th of January 2022, appended at Annexure A. Do I have a mover? Move Councillor Miles, a seconder. Councillor Wynne, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Miles?
Just to reiterate what I said before, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Miles. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 4, disclosures of interest. Does any councillor wish to disclose an interest? Nil. Mayoral minute? Nil. 6, inward correspondence and petitions.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose an amendment.
Amendment to the correspondence, Councillor Miles.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, to the recommendation. The recommendation reads that council receive and note correspondence 1. I'd like to propose an amendment.
Okay. Is someone moved at that? Okay. Go for it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My amendment would read that council receive and note the correspondence and management address the concerns raised and provide a response to the author. The argument for that, Mr Mayor, is I don't believe the recommendation goes far enough. The correspondence is addressed to Mayor and councillors, not to the management. Council needs to ensure that matters addressed to council are responded to in a timely, professional manner without being seen to be interfering with the day-to-day running of council, which is of course the general manager's and executive's role. The letter does, however, highlight matters that have been raised by this council's elected members recently, so I believe it's appropriate in this instance to amend the recommendation. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Can you just read that amendment, what you want in the amendment, councillor Miles?
Certainly, Mr Mayor. That council receive and note the correspondence and management address the concerns raised and provide a response to the author.
Thanks, councillor Miles. Is there a seconder for that amendment? Seconded, councillor Lawson. So the amendment will now become the motion. Did you wish to speak further to that, councillor
No,
Miles?
thank you, Mr Mayor. I've covered everything I wanted to do.
Councillor Lawson?
I would like to speak to the amendment as well.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Councillor Lawson, I'm sorry, I need to ask for anyone wishing to speak against the motion as well. No one against? Councillor Cadmore?
Yeah, just in times past, I can see where Councillor Miles is coming from, but all correspondence generally that comes to council is what's the word? It's the management do respond in a letter form to whoever writes in. So, you know, it's a given. It doesn't have to be written in the recommendation.
Thanks, councillor Cadmore. Now speaker for the motion. Councillor Lawson.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I was going to speak to the original motion, but I'll speak to the amended motions. I agree with that as well. The main points raised by the letter in my interpretation was that there did not appear to be a consistent and structured way that road closure decisions were made, monitored and released. There was concern that once a road was closed, the road closure was not lifted in a timely manner once the road became safe again. It also expressed concern that there was not a reliable method of communication of road closure information to the public, and requested that road closures be notified on ABC radio and live traffic so that road closure information is available to both travellers and residents. I would support implementing these options if they're feasible. There was specific reference made to the Coonabarabran Road, which is an arterial road that is often used as a shorter route in preference to the Camilroy Highway by heavy traffic, and the state of the road is not currently up to the amount of traffic. I confirm that the Coonabarabran Road has been included in the Liverpool Plain Shire Council Freight Network as part of our economic development plan that will be completed shortly. Council is committed to improving our road network for farmers, freight and residents, and seeking state and federal funding to achieve this. I understand that the items in the letter will be responded to shortly by management, and they'll be doing their best to address these. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thanks, councillor Lawson. Okay, so now we've got no amendment to that.
Could I have the right of reply, please, Mr
We
Mayor?
can after we get anyone else against.
I'm sorry, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else against the motion?
Can I speak again or no?
No, you speak. If there's no other speakers, councillor Miles has the right of reply.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Firstly, I thank the councillors for their involvement in the debate in this matter. I still believe that the recommendation as it stands at the moment does not show any action by this council. I've lost the lady's name. The lady that wrote the letter, I probably shouldn't mention the name anyway, in open council. The But the lady that wrote the letter was a past councillor, and I do believe she would expect an answer back from council. And although I know the management is quite diligent in responding to correspondence, I still say this was addressed to the mayor and the councillors. It wasn't addressed to the general manager or to a particular staff member. And I still believe that we as a council need to make sure this recommendation in the minutes reflects what this council has voted on. So I still believe that this amendment should stand. So thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, councillors.
Thanks, councillor Miles. That amendment stands. I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? I'll declare that carried. Item 6.1, we just did that, didn't we? Yes. 7.1, Executive Area Works, December 2021 and January 2022. Recommendation reads that council, 1, receive and note the Executive Area Works report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Miles, a seconder. Councillor Allen, you wish to speak to it, Councillor Miles?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7.2, provision of superannuation contribution payments to councillors. The recommendation reads that Council 1, to make a superannuation contribution payments for its councillors, effective from the 1st of July 2022, equivalent in amount to the superannuation guarantee payments pursuant to section 254B of the Local Government Act 1993. Do I have a mover? Being no mover, if there's no mover, I'll declare that lost. Off the book. Item 7.3, appointment of councillors delegates to the 2022 conferences. The recommendation is that council appoint the following councillors to attend each of the following conferences being held in 2022. LGNSW Special Conference, 3 councillors. Go again? Yeah. But they're not going to do the lot together, right? Can I ask for nominations for the first one?
I'd like to go to that, please, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Miles is nominated.
The mayor. Can you go for that?
I'll accept that nomination.
So turn it off, no?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Mayor, whereabouts is that one going to, sorry?
Page 51.
No, I've got quickly, a page.
Special conference.
Where's the LG New South Wales one going? That's on the 28th, isn't it? That's on the 28th, okay, sorry.
I'd like to nominate Donald Lawson and myself. Can I do that?
Okay, so now we'll go to, I guess, a show of hands. First nomination was for me,
Councillor Miles.
Councillor Miles. Those in favour of Councillor Miles attending the conference?
Oh, yeah.
Councillor Miles is. Those in favour of the Mayor attending the conference? So that's carried. Who was the other nominee?
Councillor Lawson.
Donald Lawson.
Those in favour of Donald Lawson attending the conference? I'll declare that carried. So the,
One more.
one
There's 10
more,
more.
sorry. Councillor Cadwell, those in favour of Councillor Cadwell attending? That's 5. So,
3.
yeah, no, but that was 5 votes for you to go. So So the councillors going to that conference is Councillor Cudmore.
Yep.
Councillor Hawkins.
Yep.
And Councillor Lawson. All in favour of that? Everyone, no,
You've
sorry,
already voted on it.
we don't need to do it again.
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Okay.
Appoint councillors to attend.
Sorry.
The following councillors have been appointed to attend. Yeah, item B. Item B, LG NSW Tourism Conference. There is one councillor. Can I ask for nominations?
Well, I say the mayor, because you know what's going on.
I think
It's a ladies' one.
it's probably better off with one of you ladies.
Through the chair, when is that? I can't.
So, point of clarification, the nomination is open to all councillors regardless of gender.
Okay.
When
Is there any other nominations for the tourism conference?
So, just maybe it'd be useful just for me to give a bit of background. A lot of the discussion regarding the Visitors Information Centre happens at that conference. So all the councils that have a Visitors Information Centre usually attend this particular conference to work with the New South Wales government around what they've got planned for those particular facilities in the next 12 months, and also to look at how the state is highlighting the opportunities for local council to promote, support, grow tourism within your region, within the state, and within our own network. So if there's a council with a particular passion to drive that particular pillar within our economic development strategy, it would be really useful for them to attend this conference and to establish their networks, grow their networks, and bring back the useful information that's provided.
Okay, well, if there's no other nominations,
Could I nominate Councillor Wynne?
you can, yes?
Was there another nomination already?
No. You accept that nomination, Councillor Wynne?
I accept, thank you, councillor Lawson.
There's only one councillor going to that, so
As I am.
I'll ask for a show of hands for Councillor Wynne to attend that conference. You've got the job, Councillor Wynne.
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Item C, Australian Local Government Women's Association New South Wales Conference. One councillor. Is there a nomination for that position?
I'll nominate councillor Lawson.
Do you accept that nomination, Councillor Lawson?
Yep.
And there being only one nomination, I'll call for a show of hands. Those in favour? Okay, Councillor Lawson, you've got that. Item D, Floodplain Management Australia National Conference. One councillor. Is there a nomination for that congress?
I'd like to nominate councillor Cudmore. I think he knows more about floodplain management than most of us.
Councillor Cudmore?
Thank you, Councillor Miles. Well, yeah, I was trying to get on the roads if I could, but I don't know whether I can handle both.
Is there any other nominations? Okay. If there's no other nominations, I'll put myself forward for that conference. So there's only one nomination, being the mayor. Those in favour? Those against? None. New South Wales Local Roads Congress, one councillor. Is there a nomination? Your nomination, Councillor Cudmore?
Yeah.
I nominate Councillor Cutmore.
You accept that,
Yes.
Councillor Cudmore? Councillor Cudmore's been nominated and accepted. Those in favour? Councillor Cudmore's the delegate. F, LGMSW Water Management Conference, 1 councillor. Is there a nomination for that? Councillor Cudmore?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate, councillor Hawkins.
I'll accept that nomination. Only one nomination. I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Carried. Australian Local Government Association National General Assembly, Councillor Doug Hawkins, 1 councillor. Nomination.
I'd like to nominate councillor Allen.
No, I've got to do it, Tim. The mayor's got to.
Oh, you've got to nominate. Oh, sorry. Oh, so it's,
Just you.
sorry, so it's only the mayor, not 1 councillor everywhere. Alright.
I'll accept that nomination. Those in favour? Carried. Item 2, approve and reimburse of out-of-pocket expenses incurred by councillor delegates attending the above conferences in accordance with the council expenses and facilities policy. 3, note that the council delegates are required to provide a written delegates report to council following each of the conferences attended. We'll have a mover. Move Councillor Allen, seconder. Councillor Lawson, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Allen? Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, sorry.
To the Australian, this is, can councillor Allen go with councillor Hawkins to, is it only 1 councillor or can, we can't send Joe if you wanted to go? No. Okay, thank you.
We're voting on that, didn't we? Yeah. Item 7.4. Sorry. Item 7.4, appointment of councillor representative to Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee. The recommendation reads that 2 councillors be nominated, the mayor and deputy already on the committee, and 2 other councillors. But you'll have to speak up. Okay. Oh, sorry, I've known. Yeah. My apologies, I'll start again with that. The Audit and Risk Committee, the 2 councillors that have been nominated have been Councillor Lawson and Councillor Cohen. Is there any other councillor wishing to nominate?
I'd like to nominate, please, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Knowles. So there have been 3. The nominations being Councillor Lawson, Councillor Cohen and Councillor Knowles. Can I have a show of hands for Councillor Lawson? Can I have a show of hands for Councillor Cudmore? Councillor Cohen? Can I have a show of hands for Councillor Knowles? So I would say that the 2 names for the Audit and Risk Committee will be Councillor Lawson and Councillor Cohen. Item 7.5.
Order. Yeah.
Thanks, Councillor Cudmore.
Yeah, finished.
Oh, sorry. Well, we've done the movements, but the two nominations.
Number two.
Well, where is point two? My apologies again, councillors. Item 2, note that councillor membership of the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee will be reviewed following the finalisation of the Office of Local Government's internal audit and risk management guidelines, and subsequent review of the council's Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee charter. It's already been moved and seconded. No? Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Lawson, a seconder. Councillor Wynne. Do you wish to speak to it, Councillor Lawson?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7.6, adoption of draft fraud and corruption policy and fraud and corruption.
7.5, Mr.
Well, they're all
Mayor.
stuck together. Sorry, again, item 7.5, appointment of General Manager's Performance Review Panel, 2021, 2022. The recommendation reads that Council 1 determine the composition of the General Manager's Performance Review Panel for the 21-22 period to consist of the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and 2 councillors. The 2 councillors so far that have been nominated have been okay. Well, I mean, Councillor Cohen said that he wanted to stand, so, well, I mean, what do you do? Okay, I'm asking for a nomination for the councillor nominated councillor to go on that committee. Councillor Lawson.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Cohen for that position.
Thanks, Councillor Lawson. Authorise, that's Councillor Cohen has been nominated and seconded there. So those in favour? Those against? Councillor Cohen. Authorise the General Manager's Performance Review. Sorry.
Yes, point of order again, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Miles.
Mr. Mayor, you have two nominations for the council to elect one. The other one is elected by the General Manager. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Miles, we're all over that. Okay, now I'll now ask the General Manager for her nominated person.
I'd like to
Mr.
get,
Mayor.
I'd like to get my microphone working. I'd like to nominate Councillor Moles for my nomination for the appointment of General Manager's Performance Review Panel, 2020-21.
You accept that
I
nomination?
accept that nomination, Mr. Mayor, and thank the GM very much for the
So
consideration.
the panel will consist of the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Cohen and Councillor Miles. Point 2, authorise the General Manager's Performance Review Panel and General Manager to engage an external facilitator to assist with the performance appraisal process and the development of any new performance plan.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to propose an amendment to that motion.
Councillor Lawson.
I'd like to propose an amendment to item 2 to read, to authorise the engagement of the current external facilitator appointed in 2021 to the conclusion of the 2021 to 2022 review period. And B, at the conclusion of the 2021 to 2022 review period and the conclusion of the current contract with the external facilitator, Council will consider at the next ordinary meeting whether to engage an external facilitator for the 2022 to 2023 period.
Is there a seconder for that amendment? Councillor Allen. So that will become a motion. I'm just going to have to get advice on that, Councillor Lawson, if we could just break for 5 minutes. Then I'll seek advice on that amendment. Where is it?